and welcome to For Real Life Pod. My name is Cherin. I am a super Bluey fan.
And I'm Tori, a total Bluey newbie, watching the episodes for the very first time.
And together we're reviewing and recapping the many adventures of the Healer family.
Let's dive in.
This episode of Bluey is called Space.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 34, Space. The Final Frontier. These are the voyages of the For Real Life podcast. I'm just kidding.
I love it. I love a good Star Trek reference.
I can't not. Oh my gosh, I love Trek. I love it so much. It's so good. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. Anytime that I can reference Trek is a good day.
It is a good day, indeed.
So, and I got my coffee. It keeps me going. Coffee.
I love the accent.
Thank you. All right. So while I drink some coffee, why don't you tell us the synopsis for this episode? How would you explain space to someone who has never seen it before?
Yeah, this one's a doozy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mackenzie struggles with depression and uses play to get over childhood trauma.
Yep. Pretty accurate.
I like to cut to the chase.
This one in the last episode, sometimes you go really fun or really cheeky. The past, it was just like, this is what's going on. Doreen is a pushover, and Mackenzie has trauma. So heavy for Bluey. You're like, wait, what? There's an episode about childhood trauma? Of course there is.
What won't they do? I feel like we were chatting the other day about how we should make predictions for, we're assuming there will be a season 4 at some point.
Yes.
Like we should do like a bingo card or like predictions on like what we think they will tackle. And I feel like it could be a fun list of like random stuff that you're like, there's no way they could do this. So I'm going to put it on the list just to see.
Bluey just tackled Bitcoin? What? Just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
We should totally do that.
Coming up with them in my brain. Okay, focus. Tori, focus.
So, okay, I'll help you focus. What did you think of this episode about childhood trauma?
Bluey, who pays for tariffs? I mean, it's got to be on it. Who pays for it in the long run? That will be an episode on my bingo card. Focus. Okay. Focus.
Childhood trauma.
Okay. First of all, I love a friend episode. And this one was so epic. I mean, having just a minor cameo of Bluey as an alien and just really leaning in on Mackenzie's story was like, love it. It's just like a nice breakup for the season to kind of like focus on other characters. I definitely feel like there's a deeper meaning in this episode that is probably going over my head. Like, I feel like there's probably more going on than I even realized, or like my thoughts on what it means is just probably like, I'm just scratching the surface of like what's really happening. As soon as Mackenzie was like, I want to be left in a black hole, I was like, oh my God, Mackenzie, I'm so worried about you. Like, it's just like,
yeah,
it was
leave me. It's fine. I want to be left. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Like red flag. So, I mean, what can you say about Ludo Studios tackling these things and doing it in such a beautiful, amazing way? Mm-hmm. So epic. This was good.
And using the boys and space as a metaphor and the black hole, it all worked so well. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's like people that can compose music or who sing. Like, to me, I just sit back and I go, how did you come up with, like, how did you bring that all together?
Yeah.
And in 7 minutes, no less.
I know.
7 minutes.
Insane.
It's so crazy. I also love a good Friends episode. I feel like it's been a little bit since we've had a Friends episode. I love seeing all of the boys, and them interacting. I also love it. There's a later episode in the season where it's kind of like focused on the other friends, but it's like the girls.
Nice.
The supporting characters are so great.
So good.
In this as well. We get a little bit of Calypso. Always fabulous. So on the Bluey TV website, it says, Mackenzie, Jack, and Rusty are playing as astronauts on a mission to Mars. But Mackenzie keeps going missing, and no one knows why. So good. So good. All right. So let's recap it. We can talk all about childhood trauma as we go through.
Are you sure we can't go to the black hole? No, it doesn't have aliens. Neither does Mars.
It opens on Bluey's school, and we see Mackenzie, Jack, and Rusty walking. Jack asks if he can be the navigator. Rusty agrees since he knows the most about space. Rusty is going to be the captain, and Mackenzie is going to be the chief scientific person. The scientist fixes stuff and figures things out, is what we learn. That's what the chief scientist does. So it's kind of like, well, what does a chief scientist do? Fixes stuff and figures everything else. That's a lot. That's a lot to take on.
It is.
Everything? Oh my goodness. The three come to a wooden boat in the grass, which we've seen before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we find out the boys are playing space. Mackenzie asks where they are going, and Jack says Mars or a black hole. We have options today, Tori.
I love a good option.
A good option. Rusty votes for Mars because, as he incorrectly thinks, it has aliens. Oh boy. No aliens. Mackenzie, on the other hand, looks out as we get the title card, and Jack actually reads the title card. I also love it when we get a non-core character doing the title card. The boys launch into space with Jack talking into a computer, which he calls Dudatron. Now, we know boys, or I don't want to make the generalization, we know children use the word dude
Oh.
and bro.
Okay.
And my son, I was saying something about going to McDonald's, and he said, no, he's calling it McDoodles.
That's what Charlie calls it.
Okay, so
Charlie calls it McDoodles.
Either my son got it from your daughter, or they both somehow got it from Bluey because Dudatron.
Should we ask them?
Oh, maybe we should ask them.
Let me get them. Hold, please. Okay, here they come. Let me shrink this so they can see themselves. Come on, Hunter. Come on over. We got to get your voice near the microphone, okay? Hold on.
You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't have to be on camera. Let me scoot Charlie on this leg. Here, you sit on the side. Okay. Do you want to come on camera? Here, come sit right here. You don't have to. Okay.
You don't have to.
You can talk
we can
into
hear
here.
you.
Okay, so we now have Charlie and Hunter with us, and we have a very important question for you two. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, she's not going to be able to hear me, so you're going to have to
I
answer
have to
for
do the
both
hearing.
of us.
Okay, so we were talking about the word dude and Dudatron, and Cherin mentioned that Hunter calls McDonald's McDoodles.
McDoodle. Yeah, so instead of Donald, it's dude. McDoodle.
McDoodles.
What is it? What does
Okay,
Hunter say?
Hunter, say in the microphone, what do you call McDonald's?
McDonald's.
And what do you call it, Charlie?
McDoodles.
So who came up with it first?
I don't know.
Did you name it McDoodles and tell him, or did
No.
he name it McDoodles and tell you?
No.
Is it because of Bluey?
Maybe.
When did you start calling it McDoodles?
I don't know. I forgot.
No? You guys just randomly called. Did you know that she called it that?
I just heard. I was watching a video of Preston, and they were going to the old times, and they were doing fast food, and one was Mickey D's.
Did he call it McDoodles?
No, I called it.
Did you get it from a YouTube video, or did you?
I just made it up.
You made it up.
I just tried remembering it, except I said McDonald's.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I guess mystery solved. Is there anything else you want to tell us about McDoodles?
That's yummy food and keep eating it.
All right, thank you guys.
Okay,
we appreciate
thank you.
your guest cameo.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that was a fun detour.
I know, much like the boys in space who detoured. That was the kids. That was our children's.
Yeah. We
All
talked
right.
about it enough. We might as well let them speak once in a while.
I know. Mine's like, no bueno being on camera, but that's okay. He doesn't also like photos. So I have to, I cover his photo. I don't put him online very much. And I'm like, hey, you get the option. So
Yeah.
All systems check. Prepare for launch in 3, 2. Hey, wait, stop the ship. Why? We've lost Mackenzie.
back to the story. Okay. Very quickly, the ship is hit with what Mackenzie calls a meteor, to which Jack, or Dudatron in this case, corrects him that they're actually asteroids when they're in space. Did you know this fact, Tori?
I did not. This was new for me.
Yep. So when it's in space, it's actually an asteroid. But when it's down in our Earth orbit and it's coming towards us, then it's a meteor.
Interesting. I did not. That was a learning for me.
Mackenzie gets out of the ship to take a spacewalk and make sure everything is okay. He discovers that there is some damage to the boosters. Rusty asks Deutatron if there are any more meteors around, and he replies that there aren't. However, Mackenzie pretends to get hit by an asteroid and falls down the hill. Rusty starts to pull on Mackenzie's cord, trying to pull him back. Realizing that Mackenzie's no longer tied to the yarn, Rusty leaps out of the boat, aka their spaceship, to save him, only to find out that Mackenzie's hiding behind a tree, or satellite in this case, and sitting quietly with a worried expression. Yeah, this is when I first was like, okay, what's happening in this episode? What's going on here? As Rusty retrieves him and heads back to the ship, they pretend to land on the moon, with Mackenzie still looking upset. Mackenzie begins to work on the repairs, while Rusty is in the background looking like he's fighting aliens. Like, I don't even know. Like, Rusty. He's one of my favorite characters. I really love Rusty. But he was very focused on aliens and trying to fight aliens, this whole thing. Jack, though, is much more in tune to what's happening with Mackenzie because he asks how Deutatron didn't see the asteroid that hit Mackenzie, to which Mackenzie replies that maybe the first asteroid could have damaged Deutatron. Jack decides to accept that answer, but then asks how the tether came unhooked. Again, Jack's like, got some questions here, sir. Mackenzie ignores the question, then proceeds to finish whatever task he is doing. As the trio are about to start up the ship again, they find that Mackenzie is gone. Oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
Where did he go? Rusty and Jack find him sitting at the bottom of an overhang. When they call him, Mackenzie asks them why they left him behind. This causes Rusty and Jack to be super confused, saying that they didn't, only for Mackenzie to say that they left him behind on purpose. Yeah, I wasn't sure what was happening at this point as well. I was a little confused. Jack then realizes that Mackenzie's tether didn't actually break, but rather he unhooked it himself. Mackenzie sheepishly says yes, that's true, before asking the other kids if they can just pretend that they left him behind and alone. And when they rightly ask him why, he says he doesn't know. He's like,
poor
I don't
guy.
know. I know. Processing trauma through play is what's happening.
Goodness.
But he's like, I don't know. I feel the need to just be left here. Oh my gosh. They say that they can't pretend to do that since they need a chief scientist to put them in hypersleep. So Mackenzie agrees and rejoins the game. As the kids are walking back, Mackenzie asks Rusty if he's sure that they can't go to the black hole. Rusty says no, because it doesn't have aliens. Neither does Mars. Okay.
Minor detail, Cherin. Minor detail.
Minor detail. Mackenzie orders Deutatron to prepare the crew for hypersleep, which he does. Mackenzie then opens his eyes, gets up, and changes the route to the black hole. After a minute, Deutatron alerts the crew that the hypersleep has been interrupted. Jack asks Deutatron what happened and where Mackenzie went. Like he didn't just hear him. It's all right. We're pretending. We then see Mackenzie staring into a tunnel with a bright light, only for Rusty and Jack to catch up and try to stop him from entering. However, Mackenzie says that he has to go in. He's the chief scientist and in charge of figuring things out. He's got to figure this out, which also kind of is like a double meaning with this. Like he's trying to figure out and process his own trauma, right, through this whole thing. Rusty insists that he and Jack go in with Mackenzie, but Mackenzie wants to go in alone and that they should go on to Mars without him. Just leave me be. Jack asks Rusty if he is really going to let him go, and he says yes, because that's what he wants to play. Mackenzie unties himself and enters the tunnel, aka the black hole.
Chief scientist, maybe you can. Whoa! What was that? We hit a meteor! Oh no! It's actually called an asteroid.
As he comes out the other side, we see him become a little kid coming out of a play slide asking for his mom. Oh, so cute. What's cuter than regular Mackenzie? Baby Mackenzie.
Baby Mackenzie.
Baby Mackenzie. Back on the ship, Deuteron asks where the chief scientist is, only for Rusty to say that he's gone. Deuteron asks if they still want to leave without him, and as Rusty ponders this, we see a flashback of baby Mackenzie seeing Calypso, who explains to him that his mom did not leave him behind, but rather that he just got mixed up in the slide. We then see Mackenzie's mom waving and yelling at him. Calypso, and I do that kind of in air quotes, Calypso then tells Mackenzie that he knows what's here now and he doesn't need to keep coming back to this place, to which Mackenzie agrees. Calypso, again in quotation marks, then tells Mackenzie to leave and get out, only for the flashback to fade back to reality as Bluey, Indy, and Chloe, all dressed up as aliens, try and drag Mackenzie further away from the black hole. But Rusty comes to Mackenzie's rescue and with Jack's help pulls them both out.
Yay!
Yay!
Good
Hooray!
job.
As they head back to the ship, Jack requests Deuteron to do a crew check to make sure that everyone is there. Rusty and Jack confirm that they're there, while Mackenzie hesitates before confirming that he is present and he rejoins the group for real this time. The end.
Aww.
I know. No parents present other than quote unquote Calypso, which honestly I think is just, again, Mackenzie using that adult figure in his mind to reassure him that he knows the truth. He's here now. He doesn't have to keep coming back to this. Like, you can be done processing this. And I think it was great that it was quote unquote like Calypso as like the voice, his internal voice of reasoning, since she is just such a amazing figure. And it related because the school was there. But do I think she was actually standing there with like the girls like talking to him as he was like processing this? No, I don't.
Yeah, I definitely think she gets the parenting award, even though Mackenzie did all the work. If she wasn't such a good figure in his life and such a good like role model and teacher and everything, then he wouldn't have used her figure in that way. So she deserves a parenting award, even though she technically didn't do anything in this moment.
Yes, absolutely. I do have to say, unfortunately, no montages. Also, no Australian American translations. But we did talk about one of the facts being the whole asteroid versus a meteor. And in an interview, Joe Brumm did reveal that the episode was inspired by play therapy. So when Mackenzie is venturing into the black hole, it's his way of acting out a traumatic memory. Additionally, Joe Brumm states that Calypso is not literally present at the shopping center. So as I said before, Joe Brumm was like 100%. She wasn't actually present at the shopping center way back in the day. She's not present here talking him through it. It's just part of like play therapy.
Nice.
Again, not something, as we said before, we had on our Bluey bingo card for 2024.
Right. That's right.
But you know what? This year just is full of surprises.
Yeah.
So, I love it. I think it was so good.
I love it too.
You're just gonna let him go? It's what he wants to play.
I thought the girls were dressed, so they were dressed as aliens, but they were actually dressed as butterflies. And in some of the costumes that we've seen before, I remember the butterfly wings of Chloe, like dressed up with like the butterfly wings and stuff on her. So I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, in the show, I took it as they were playing their own game, and so they weren't necessarily dressed up as aliens. They were just playing a game, and that's how the boys perceived them. So cool. So the outro was a roll of yarn, which was the yarn that the boys were using going into space. So that's good. They're continuing season 3 strong with all of their outros. And then the yarn thing, it kind of, we're a little bit past now, like scary movie season. But during Halloween, when all the like scary movies were in the theater, there was a preview I saw a couple times where it's like a mom and 2 boys, and they like have to tie themselves to their house with the rope. So they live in this like scary cabin in the middle of the woods, and they have this like rope around their waist, and they like venture out into the woods. I don't know, to get food or water or something. I don't know. They must have to do it for some reason. And they have to stay connected to the rope. And it was so similar to the boys coming out of the boat with their rope. It just like totally made me think of it. And I never saw the movie, but I saw the preview a couple times in the theater.
I feel like I saw who's in that movie? I feel like I saw something about it.
Super famous.
Yes. Someone was the mom.
Is it Halle Berry?
Oh, yes, maybe that's it. Yes, I remember seeing something because she was talking about, I think, being a mom. So this really like hit her. I don't know the name of the movie.
Never Let Go.
It.
I found it.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to do a quick Google. It is Halle Berry. Thank goodness I was right about that. The director is Alexandre Aja. And
what's the Rotten Tomato score?
Rotten Tomato score is, this is Rotten Tomatoes. Why isn't it telling me? Let me open it. It is 57%.
Ooh.
Is that bad? The popcorn meter is 54% and the tomato meter is 57%.
Ooh.
It's called Never Let Go.
That means only 50% of people who saw it
liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's called Never Let Go. Her and her sons can't leave the house without being tied around their waist with a rope. Very similar to Mackenzie and Friends. So it just made me think of it.
I'm sure those boys have some trauma as well.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
I'm not really a spooky movie person.
I'm not at all. No, me neither.
My favorite spooky movies, which aren't spooky at all, are like the Scream movies.
Oh, are you kidding? Those things are scary. I remember
it's just a serial killer or three.
Oh my God.
It's fine.
I was in high school when those came out, and I'm not a big scary movie person. And I don't know if it was the second one or the third one, but I went with my friends. I was trying so hard to be brave. And the whole way there, I was like, it's okay. If you get scared, you can just leave and go to the restroom and just like, bail if something gets too scary. You just go to the bathroom. Well, the opening scene of that movie, they're in a movie theater.
It's in the third one. As soon as you said the bathroom, I was like, that's the third one.
And the first thing that happens is like a girl goes to the bathroom at the movie theater and gets murdered. And I was literally sitting there like,
it was the boy. It was the boyfriend.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he puts on like his jacket and everything. And then he comes back into the theater.
Pretends to be, oh my God. So I was literally in the theater like, I can't go to the bathroom now. That was my plan. My plan was if I got scared, I could go to the bathroom. And now I can't do that. So they took it away from me, which was actually, if you think about it, very good movie making strategy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my little 16-year-old self was terrified.
Yeah, those are the movies I can get down with that. I'm not down with creepy dolls or child possession or so I don't see like the weird clowns. I don't like the Saw movies, but I can do like mass serial killer. That's fine.
So funny.
And I definitely love science fiction movies about space. I do love some of the horror space movies. Space movies like Aliens and stuff I can do.
Okay.
I like
you're
those.
a sci-fi girl anyway.
I am a sci-fi girl. Yes. Yeah, my husband likes to give me grief because I love Star Trek. Like all the Star Trek and the Star Wars. I like them both. I feel like you can like them both. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay, people.
Well, truly, Stargate is another big one for you.
I do love Stargate. We also saw that last night on TV, and I was like, gotta watch some Kurt Russell, some Stargate.
Nice.
I'm there for that. So I love all things space. Truly is the final frontier. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much as we went on several tangents. Luckily, we were tethered to our microphones. We came back. We finished this mission.
All the analogies. I love it.
All the analogies. Hopefully you guys come back next week when we are chatting about
dirt. 36
35.
I show that this was 35 Space and then it's 36 dirt.
Mm-hmm. I had this 34 Space.
I have 34 Granny Mobile, 33 Tradies, 32 Onesies, 31 Turtle Boy.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know.
Come back next week when we talk dirt.
Thanks.
Okay, bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please, please, please share it with your friends. Go online, rate the podcast, follow us to get the newest content drops right when they release. And of course, message us. You can find us on Instagram at forreallife.pod, or you can send us an email at forreallife.pod@gmail.com. Again, that's FORREAL LIFE, period, POD.